He found out I was expecting, and so we didn't have any other expectations that it would just be all good. At about 7 months, I started measuring large for dates. And he just asked, would you be willing to go to Vancouver and to the Women's Center and just get them to check you? And we were a bit nervous at that point because obviously we thought something was going on. There they did a 3D ultrasound. They started finding flags of trisomy 18. They discovered a heart issue with her, a kidney issue, a clubfoot.
And then the doctor came in and sat down and said, I have to share some news with you. Your child is incompatible with life.
We had to go home that day and gather all our other children and our extended family and share the news, and it was a very difficult thing to do. Staci Grace became what we called her. Yeah, we knew she was in God's hands, and that's kind of how we approached this. The nursing staff, they were amazing. As soon as we got there, they had a special labor room off from all the others. They knew our kids would be waiting downstairs. We had wanted our kids in the hospital so that if we only had minutes, they could at least meet Staci. They were all on board with making this as beautiful of an experience as they could for us. So we were admitted. Staci was okay. She was breathing on her own. She wasn't struggling hugely at that point, and now we had to continue on, and this was now way more unknown than I ever anticipated. She was too weak to nurse.
That Saturday morning, we were both weeping because we could hear her crying, knowing she was hungry.
One nurse remembered from a previous experience someone using a Haberman feeder. Staci didn't have to suck the bottle. She could just be fed from us. That was a first little miracle. At that point, there was really nothing more the hospital could do for her, and we were discharged to go home.
I never ever dreamed that I would be able to hold her. We never even dreamed that we would take her home. Karen would have to take care of her during the day. So the girls took the late shift. They'd read their books and they'd be watching her. And if she needed the medication or felt that she was hungry and needed a little bit of food, and at about 3:30, I would get up. It was about the third week in, she was just so uncomfortable. I reached in underneath the blanket and grabbed her two little feet, and I'm going, oh, they're cold. Keeping her upright would help her breathe, but it was the furthest point from her heart, so she had cold feet. So I went into the laundry room and I found one of the children's hot water bottles. I put this hot water bottle under her feet, and it was like within 2 or 3 minutes, she was settling down. And that was the beginning of every night. She would have a hot water bottle to help sustain her. That was a real miracle for me. And those are the memories for me that that's all I could do as a father, was to love her, and pray for her.
At about 3 weeks, she was crying, and we ended up taking her back in, and they put in a little NG tube. Her heart wasn't working very well, so that was, of course, affecting her breathing, and she was getting weaker, but this was just one thing we could do to bring her comfort. So that became the next kind of chapter. She had been sleeping in a cradle beside us for parts of the nights. We could tell her breathing was changing, and so we took her into bed with us. She was between us. I think we actually dozed off.
We did.
And
we both woke up together.
We both woke up together and she was gone.
Yeah.
So she had just quietly, gently passed into eternity. I just remember the quiet and the peace.
Yeah.
And we took her downstairs. We woke the other kids. They all came downstairs. We turned on some beautiful music in the background, and one of the songs was Jesus Loves Me, This I Know. And yeah, it was just this beautiful, quiet, peaceful, early morning time with our family. We knew she was in God's hands, and that's what we talked about. We talked about heaven. We talked about where she would go, and the girls got out their stamp pads, and we just did little footprints. Beautiful memory in our Bibles that we all carry with us.
And we had the opportunity to lay her in a beautiful white blanket, wrap her up, put her in Karen's arms, and Karen carried her into the vehicle, held her while I drove to the funeral home. And my cousin worked at the funeral home. And she came to the door, and we could hand off our little Staci Grace into the hands of another family member who was willing to then take her and care for her. Just a beautiful moment of us being able to say goodbye and let go of her. Community support is very important. We had our faith community, but there was also others.
Yeah, we're not meant to travel life alone. We are meant to be in community and have support around us. We were very blessed with our community that rallied around, and we could not have done it without them.